Well, kia ora, and thanks for joining us here in Otatahi, Christchurch for round 4. It is the South Central Series, and these two sides joining up, Selwyn United up against the Wellington Phoenix, both searching for their win points in 2021 in the revamped National League that is called South Central Series. Joining me in commentary, Lee Padmore. Well, he knows so much about both teams. Now football development manager at Mainland, of course last year's Canterbury Dragons coach, former Selwyn head coach. You've had a lot of work with the Phoenix as well, so what you don't know about them, Lee, isn't worth knowing. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Delighted to be here. Looking forward to a big game for both these teams. Yep,
it certainly is. As we mentioned, looking forward very much to what these teams will bring, the youth of the Phoenix up against the great story that Selwyn United is and how they have got to this point. Fantastic. So that is the first game up. Also a bit later on this afternoon, Wellington Olympic up against Wellington Suburbs, a great local derby in Porirua. And then tomorrow, it really is a delicious prospect. Kashmir Technical, we know, have already secured a Chatham Cup final berth, and Miramar Rangers, of course, they have an opportunity to play them possibly in March next year, but they have to see off North Shore Rovers first. But in the South Central Series, that will be tomorrow. That points table, Lee Padmore, it is pretty tight at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Top 4 teams, any 4 could make that final game. And the bottom 2, Wellington Phoenix and Selwyn United, a little bit adrift, but both will be looking to get their first points on the table today.
And I guess scoring goals is important too. If you're looking at the differential there, it's all about scoring goals. So that's what it will be about today here at English Park. Let's have a look, first of all, to the makeup of the Selwyn United side.
Yeah, absolutely, and not a lot changes for Selwyn United. In goal will be number 26, Peter Tako Birama, number 5, Jack Allett, number 6 and captain Jaden Booth, number 7, Dorian Grolt, number 8, Jamie Carradus, number 9, Callum Murdoch, number 10, Daniel Lead, number 12, Luke Pritchard, number 14, Luke Mackay, number 16, Isaac Topham, and number 18, Oliver Cosgrove.
Yes, and plenty to come off the bench as well. Their coach is Chris Brown, and we caught up a little earlier with Chris and got his thoughts on this big match.
Chris, firstly, how's Selwyn United finding the first campaign in the National League?
Really exciting. It's great to be here. It's a massive step up for us, which has been a learning experience, but yeah, everybody's just working harder to try and make sure that we are competitive in every game.
And what have you been working on to sort of ensure you can come away with a result here today?
A lot of shape work, trying to stay organised. We're aware that we'll probably spend time without the ball, so being defensively sound is important, but also then having a threat going the other way. We can't go 90 minutes defending. You have to have a threat going the other way. So a lot of work in and around the final third for us. So yeah, that's what we've kind of been working on.
Well, we wish him well, Chris Brown. We're looking for that elusive win points in South Central Series, and of course the player to watch, already talked about him a little bit, Peter Birama, of course, a key player right through their meteoric rise into the South Central Series.
Huge for Selwyn United, Peter Tako, a player who signed in the 2018 season, has been huge ever since. Huge for them to stay in the Mainland Premier League last season. To qualify for the Southern Series and then qualify for the National League, and he seems to be the one everybody around the country is talking about as a goalkeeper because nobody knew who he was before this series. So delighted for him, top bloke and a top goalkeeper.
Yes, he is. He's kept them in many a match this weekend. Well, to the opposition, it's Selwyn United, to the opposition today, Wellington Phoenix. Really looking forward to what these young players will bring to this match, Lee.
Absolutely, a very young team. In goal will be number 1, Albie Kelly-Heald, number 2, Joseph Chiari, number 3, Adam Supik, local boy coming home, number 4, Isaac Hughes, number 5, Lucas Kelly-Heald, twin brother of Albie, number 6, Finn Conchi, number 7 and captain, Louis Toomey, number 8, Charlie Beale, number 9, Josh Ridland, number 10, Henry Hamilton, and number 11, Kaylin Noyen.
Yes, should be fantastic, and they've certainly got some talent on the bench as well. Well, their coach is Chris Greenacre. We know a lot about him, but what are his expectations heading into this big match? I think we're seeing there a little bit of Peter.
Chris, your side's had some pretty close losses, so you must be feeling like you're there or thereabout for a victory.
Yeah, I think we've created more than enough opportunities in all of our games. We've finished pretty strong in all games as well. So just a couple of decisions and a little bit of lapses in the final third has probably cost us a little bit. But I've been really impressed of how our players have adapted. A lot of them stepping up to the National League level, and they've certainly taken it in their stride. So hopefully today's another test, another different test for them to showcase what they can do.
And what will you be looking to do, I suppose, on the field today to ensure you come away with some points?
It's about, again, us taking our opportunities. We need to stick to our game plan, both with and without the ball, and it's important that we're disciplined, especially when we don't have the ball, because Selwyn have got players that can really hurt you, especially on the counter-attack. So we're fully aware of what their strengths are, but it's about what we do defensively, making sure that we're defensively strong. And then on the flip side, again, making sure that we still create opportunities and get plenty of numbers in the box and give ourselves the best chance of scoring.
Must be called to be able to shape the future of young footballers, and there's one that we're all interested in, local boy Adam Supik.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam's a local boy. I'm fortunate to have worked with him since he was sort of 9-10 years old up at Wellington United, and great boy with a good future ahead of him. But an exposure to the National League is going to be huge for him to develop himself, and he's very inner-driven, and you'll see that today.
His family have travelled in too to have a look at this match. It's the beauty of it. The Selwyn United faithful have come into town here at English Park, and they will be, they'll have divided loyalties, that's for sure, as to whether they see Selwyn United or whether they see the likes of Adam Supik. And also we're looking at Jonathan Sims in that Phoenix team wearing 12. He will get some game time later on in the match. But for the all-important weather conditions here at English Park, yes, we have told that we might get a bit of rain, bit of easterly drizzle, but 13 degrees at the moment and a little 13 k's zephyr coming across the pitch. Not too much to worry about, certainly not the gusty winds that we've had in other rounds, but it's cool, and we are just hoping that the rain does stay away. Won't matter too much to the players anyway if a bit of drizzle comes down.
No, definitely not. Both teams are used to a little bit of drizzle. Out in Rolleston they call it the 12th man, the wind and the drizzle, so they're certainly used to it out there.
Well, we're all set. The players just introducing themselves to the crowd, and of course our all-important officials, Chris Bennett with the whistle today, Jack Henderson, Caleb Downs assisting him, and in charge of the substitutions, Aaron Nottage. And if needed anything else, I'm sure Aaron will fill in where needed. So just having the coin toss out in the middle and fist pumps all round as these two teams get set. Well, it's interesting looking at the record for both these teams. Selwyn United lost to Kashmir Tech 1-0, lost to Wellington Olympic 4-1 and lost to Western 3-1. So they've scored 2 and had 8 against Wellington Phoenix, lost 4-2 to Wellington Olympic, lost 3-2 to Miramar Rangers, 1-0 Kashmir, 8 against scored 4. Interesting stats.
Very interesting, and of those 4 goals, they're all scored by one player for the Wellington Phoenix, who is not with us today, Oscar Van Hattem. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to get the goals for the Wellington Phoenix today. Some good young talent in there, but really important that they stay on task for the whole game today.
Yes, indeed. It's all that spontaneous, isn't it? That feeling that you can have the freedom to make decisions and just go for it. As opposed, we've heard both coaches say that they want to keep the shape, keep their structure, no matter what's happening in the game itself. So Selwyn United and the Wellington Phoenix getting set. Round 4 action it is in the South Central Football Series. And we are here at English Park in Christchurch. Thanks so much for joining us. And Lee Padmore bringing us expert comments has had a lot to do with both teams. So anything we need to know, we're coming in your direction, Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. Expert may be the wrong word, but I'll try my best to give any insights I possibly can.
So here we are, overcast conditions and cool temperature-wise. I think the oldest in the Phoenix team, what do we think was 20 years of age?
Yeah, 20 years of age. Louis Toomey is a 2001 born player.
And we won't tell you the oldest in the Selwyn United team.
Yeah, John Ancliffe won't thank me if I tell you how old he really is.
He's a youngster.
He's a youngster.
Here we are anyway, Selwyn United getting the early touches and taking the ball forward. And it will be for the Phoenix. Throw in. And right deep in that right-hand defensive pocket. See the wind just hanging around a little bit and that ball in the air, but hopefully not too much. Bring the ball out onto, oh, dispossessed. Handy opportunity early on. And getting the flag. He looked to be quite offside, but we're not the refs.
Absolutely, and Selwyn United would be delighted to have Daniel Lee back in the team today from the start. Yeah, I can't quite see from that angle, but I do think he was offside, potentially started his run a little bit early. But yeah, Selwyn United would be delighted to have him back. Club's all-time top goal scorer, over 150 goals for Selwyn United, so he'll be huge for them today.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I know, talking to Chris Brown earlier in the season, that he was a player that couldn't commit early on, but they've come back, and this is the Phoenix now having an opportunity themselves at goal, and what an early opportunity, quick, fast counter-attack.
Looks offside again. Caleb Downs has got his flag up nice and early then. Caelan Noyen picking up the ball in the pocket there. He does like to face forward and get moving, and Josh Ridland running off the shoulder of Luke Pritchard there. So that'll be something I'll look for, is people running off the shoulders of the Selwyn United back four. Big, resilient back four, but potentially not the most mobile. Whereas the Phoenix, with a switch of that, very mobile, potentially not as big and strong.
Yeah, it was a great pass from Caelan Noyen, wasn't it? It was just, and he was a little bit off balance as well, but he still managed to get it in the right place, so we'll be keeping an eye out for him. But we're back up the other end, and Selwyn United, such a great story that they're even here and heading towards the goal. And too easy really for Albie Kelly Hill. It's interesting looking at this tall man now with the ball, goalkeeper for the Phoenix. And looking back, he's always featured in age group tournaments, Golden Glove Awards. He's come through the system, and with his twin brother as well in the lineup today, Lucas.
Yeah, and the Phoenix team, Josh Woodland makes his way in.
Charlie Beale, and Birima manages to keep it safe for Selwyn and gets the applause of the many that have gathered in the Steve Sumner stand here at English Park. Yeah,
so with the goalkeeper situation for Wellington Phoenix, they've got two very, very good 2005-born goalkeepers with Henry Gray and Lucas Kelly Heald, and it's good to see them both getting opportunities from Chris Greenacre. It seems like they're splitting the services week in, week out, which is really cool to see.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Taking the opportunity when you do get the nod, but contributing, feeling valued in the team setup. Selwyn United just looking to get their defensive structure in place. And a decent boot up by the farmer we're actually talking about in the Selwyn team, the occupations that the players have. And at this moment, we know for farmers, it's such a busy time of the year, baling and all those other things. And we've got a couple of them, as it is a opportunity now out wide. And we've got Joseph Chiari. And wow, look at that. First up into the 4th minute. Who finished it?
I'm not sure, I'll be honest, Leslie. It's great work done by Chiari down on this right-hand side. A lovely cross, and it looks to me as if Josh Rudland was on the end of it. Young Josh Rudland, who's actually a Nelson-born player, so we'll definitely know the South Island well. But that's a good start for the Wellington Phoenix, and everything that Selwyn United would not have wanted early on in this game.
Well, we saw early that they were prepared to run and put the ball into space and ask the questions of their strikers to get up early. Look, here is another opportunity. They've got 3 yellow shirts up there, and the ball being slipped in behind the Selwyn defence. So they will be nippy, they'll be quick, and you talked about it. They will try to move those deep defenders around.
Absolutely, yeah. They'll try and tighten up Selwyn United and look to hurt them around the outside, and that's sort of the picture you saw there with those 2 10s behind the 2 forwards. They'll try and tighten Selwyn United up and get those fullbacks nice and high late on. So that's picture perfect for the Phoenix from the start. And we know what the Selwyn United team are made of. Going behind won't shirk them. They'll be back in the game. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, look, they stay in the contest. That's what we've learnt, and they will stay a long time. Another opportunity now as they slip in behind. And again, some stern defence, but they are posing some problems, those front-running strikers for the Phoenix. It's their job. And they're quick.
they're certainly quick. I don't know Josh Ridland particularly well, but Caelan Noyen was one that I worked with a lot in my time up in Wellington, and we talked a lot to him about becoming a tap-in artist. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in around the 6-yard box today, to see if he's still working on that.
Well, Josh Ridland, he is Lower Hutt City, as you mentioned, origins out of Nelson. And another one on the radar for higher honours, and looking to find again the game in these early stages. 1-0 Phoenix, and they are pressurising the Selwyn defence, who at the moment can't keep possession long enough to mount anything, and they are backpedalling Selwyn. Very quick to move on, and the accuracy in the passing, they seem to know where each other are. The Phoenix looking for the ball out wide, and again this is Chiari.
Well dealt with by the Selwyn United defence there. One of the things I talked about with Chris Greenacre before was the potential of this right-hand side hurting Selwyn United's left-hand side. Young guys at Topham at left-back, and Daniel Eade back in the team today. You know, we may need to see Dan and Callum switch over so they can potentially track that fullback who's making already a lot of opportunities for the Wellington Phoenix.
Well, that they are, and it's very quick too, that midfield ball being delivered, and now some nice ball up that left flank.
Dorian Grolt finds himself in wide areas, and Dorian will be a pain for the Phoenix today. He's energetic, and he gets around the front half of the pitch, good in the air. Really vital for Selwyn United that he has a good game today.
Well, we talked about earlier, I mean, you don't ever count Selwyn out because they do know how to stay in the game. And we talked earlier about Peter Birima, the goalkeeper, Peter Tucker Birima. He certainly does know how to keep his charges in. He's a chance for Selwyn United, but effectively and efficiently worked out by the team wearing yellow. And I don't know what it is about the yellow shirts, Lee Padmore, but they just look to have plenty of them. Look at the speed being brought through that midfield. Charlie Beale. And a shot at goal, and a great save. Birima again showing his prowess.
It looks like Jaden Booth's down, not in great condition in the Wellington Phoenix half. The Wellington Phoenix countered that quickly that we potentially didn't see that on the time. But if we go back to that counter-attack, what you'll see is that movement to try and break that back four of Selwyn United from the front two, and that opens up spaces. The one thing I would urge the Wellington Phoenix to do is anything from distance, Peter Tako Birima is going to be equal to. The goal you scored is the one you're probably looking for, those little spaces down the outside for cutbacks and crosses. But yeah, an excellent counter-attack on the Wellington Phoenix again.
So 1-0, Wellington Phoenix over Selwyn, and it was a fabulous 5 minutes really for the young side, the young Phoenix side, as they poured on that pressure, and eventually it was converted. And that's the other thing, isn't it? It's having all that possession and creating, but in the end you've got to finish it. Oh,
100%. 100%. You've got it, and that's probably what they've been most guilty of, is not punishing the opposition when they've been on top, the Wellington Phoenix. So Chris Greenacre and his coaching staff will be delighted that they've taken their chance early on.
Pritchard has got the ball for Selwyn, and they can possibly, I don't know, you know, in terms of getting back into the match and matching it on the scoreline, it's also about playing the game at the pace you want it to and not being reactive.
Absolutely, they won't want to be dictated to Selwyn, but they are comfortable being that underdog and being behind. But they'll make it a dogfight, and Selwyn United are good at that, and they'll look to compete for the whole 90 minutes wherever possible.
Well, this is the skipper Booth. It's good to see him back and running freely, because it did look as though he'd taken a bit of a blow. Our opportunity. Ridland again up there posing all sorts of problems and close to the goalkeeper, and that is number 2, as easy as. And hand claps all round and hugs for the Wellington Phoenix into the 11th minute.
Yeah, Selwyn United will be really, really disappointed with that, conceding that goal, but the Phoenix will be delighted. Mid-block, which you'll see in the A-League a lot from Ufuk Tele's side. Phoenix trying to play, Selwyn trying to play through those gaps and just being picked off on the counter there in that fast break. And young Josh Ridland finds his second of the game, which will be huge for him and his confidence.
2-0. into the 11th minute. And the work ahead of Selwyn United. And again, the pressure being applied. It is just the quickness of the game and the way that the Phoenix want to dominate and say to Selwyn, well, we're in charge of this match. Long time to go in the match.
Yeah, long time to go. It's not time to panic for Selwyn United. They've got to keep their heads in the game and stay as close to this Wellington Phoenix team as they possibly can. We know they've got goals in them, Selwyn United.
Oh, a chance now for Selwyn, but can they keep possession? And Phoenix, once again, this is where they're able to put the pace of the match. And Barima, the goalkeeper, happy to come out and initiate an attack from the back. Notice they didn't challenge too much, the Phoenix, once they got the ball within the cooey of the goalkeeper from Selwyn.
No, you'll see this mid-block from the Wellington Phoenix quite a lot. They will go and press on what they call the negative. There you see Noyen jumping on that negative pass.
Oh, here he has. He's done really well. And steaming in to help, coming back, was Luke Pritchard for Selwyn United, and he's remonstrating with his defenders. Look at him.
Yeah, again, that pressing on the negative is something you'll see a lot from the Wellington Phoenix, and Selwyn have got to be aware of that, because otherwise they're going to get picked off quite easily, unfortunately.
Oh, we just talked about the goalkeeper not having pressure on him, and then suddenly the ball goes back to the field player, and there was all kinds of pressure on them. Absolutely,
absolutely. And, you know, like Selwyn United pride themselves on being well drilled. Chris Brown I've known for a long, long time now. He's an excellent coach. But so are the Wellington Phoenix. You know, Steve Coleman and Chris Greenacre, Paul Temple, who's not travelled with the team. They're top coaches in the country, and there's no doubt that they'll be very, very organised, the Wellington Phoenix, as you can see here.
Absolutely, and this is top talent. And the youngsters, Wellington Phoenix doing the business, that's for sure, 2-0 up. Nice bit of skill. Can Selwyn United stay with the Phoenix? And again, it's goalkeeper Birima having to come out and redistribute from right at the back, wanting to play the game at pace, not mucking around getting the throw-in in. Not much talk.
No, it's quiet. I think Selwyn United will be looking just to get through the next 5 or so minutes and just try and stay in the game, really. Whilst the Phoenix will be, you know, their game plan's 100% working for them. They're sat in a mid-block, able to turn over possession from Selwyn United quite quickly, and then hurt them on the fast break. So it's an interesting one at this point.
So even that ball there, you know, it was almost, didn't have the pace to come across, and again, they spot the opportunity, do the young Phoenix players, and know that they can exert that extra bit of pressure. Oh, and that was just a slightly mistimed kick from Allett.
Yeah, and I was speaking to Chris Greenacre before the game, and one of the things he's really eager to pass on to these young Phoenix boys is a feeling around how you compete and how you win games of football, because it's important. And, you know, one of those things about feeling, can you go and get pressure on the ball, can you go and hurt the opposition, is something a lot of the time is missed in our young players. And him being a pro for over 500 games, you know, he wants to pass that on to young players, which is really awesome to see someone of his nature and his calibre so passionate about youth development.
Absolutely. Well, they're certainly listening to his game plan and executing beautifully at this stage. 2-0 up, 2 Josh Ridland goals. And it's been the work in the midfield and the pace. This is another example, this time up the left-hand side. And boy, we've been impressed too with Noyen. He has been outstanding, his quickness, his acceleration.
Yeah, I saw him a couple of weeks ago. We always knew he was athletic. I saw him a couple of weeks ago when they played Wellington Olympic, and he ran past Justin Gully. And I've not seen, in my time in New Zealand, I've probably seen 1 or 2 people run past Justin Gully the way Caelan did. So as an athlete, he's a real talent. And I know they've got high hopes for him a little bit longer term at the Wellington Phoenix.
Yeah, well, he's only 18, isn't he? So he's got such a big future ahead of him. And when you've got that speed and you can read the play and know how to apply it, which is what he's done so far, this time the ball's tucked in behind for Selwyn United to try and get something on this for themselves. And in the end, it was easy for Albie Kelly-Heald to cut the angle down, hard angle, in fact, to get anything from unless it's going across the face.
But that's what the moment Selwyn United will be looking for. Can they turn it over and play forwards quickly? They are excellent at it, and they'll continue to try that. Big part of their DNA.
The ball still with Chiari, and just happy to keep possession at this stage. They have the ball up where they want it to be. Looking for opportunities. Good to see them just being patient with the ball until something opens up for them. Again, Chiari being a key figure for the... Gosh, I thought that was another good opportunity. They are looking and seeking for goal number 3, the Phoenix.
Yeah, and this right-hand side closest to us, left-hand side of Selwyn United, seems to be what they're targeting, creating overloads against young guys at Topham. He's a good young player in himself, 2005 born player, so he'll have plenty to learn in terms of the exposure to the National League too.
Now Booth gets a good pass away, just too far out on that right side, but you could see what he was trying to create, some space and take the ball across, try and stretch open that Phoenix defence and give them the first real taste of pressure, which we haven't seen. We've seen plenty on Selwyn's defence. Takes one turnover and a nice little lob in, but this time with Selwyn United, and the whistle goes. Yes, strong challenge.
And I think that's probably the beauty of the way Selwyn United play. It does take one pass because they are so direct in that transition. You know, there's a real threat about them at all times. You saw against Western Suburbs last week, although Western Suburbs dominated the game, you know, the red card came from Selwyn United being direct in transition, and that causes anybody problems. It doesn't matter how many top players you have. One pass straight forward in transition can cause you all sorts of problems. It's been really refreshing to see in the National League. You know, Selwyn United close to my heart, but you know, it's excellent to see a club that try and do the right things in here and playing the way they do.
And here's the Phoenix again, making another foray, and players coming back in numbers to help out Birima in goal. And let's just repeat that Lee Padmore bringing us expert comments, former Selwyn United head coach, of course Canterbury Dragons head coach last year. You've had stints with the Phoenix, so as mentioned right at the beginning, you know both sets of players really well, but the story of Selwyn United, it's worth telling again. Yeah,
I mean, Selwyn United is a real inspirational story, and one that clubs in New Zealand should really look at. You know, they're formed in 2013 and come from the very bottom of the Canterbury Championship League, and now they're playing in the National League as Selwyn United, which is really, really awesome to see.
Has an opportunity. And still with Selwyn United now, goes across the face and just couldn't get any touch, but well, again, the height of Kelly Held in goal, proving the difference. And of course, his demeanour and manner, I think goalkeeper Kelly Held looks as though he's in charge down there. Sorry, just to repeat a little bit more about the Selwyn story, because it is worth telling.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So formed in 2013, promoted to the Mainland Premier League in 2018, and then finishing second bottom for three consecutive seasons, and this year making a real run of it to make the Southern League in the last game, so finishing 5th, and then you know, making a real run of it again in the Southern League to finish 2nd to qualify for the National League. And if that's not a story that brings a smile to your face, I don't know what would. I think they're probably everybody's second favourite team in the National League, I would suggest.
Absolutely. Here we go again for the Phoenix, again able to get their passes. Their precision passing has been, except for that one, has been spot on.
Yeah, they've been excellent playing through the thirds, the Wellington Phoenix combining, and you'll see that 4v3 centrally with the box midfield for Wellington Phoenix is really causing Selwyn problems.
Well, I guess from a Selwyn perspective, they'll just be looking to absorb as much as they can and get used to the pace that the Phoenix have put on them. And I'm sure once they come to terms with that, look how quickly, again, wanting to keep the game moving, the momentum, and not lose it, because they've been the initiators, have the Phoenix, and this time it's been stolen. And Daniel Eade, the goal-scoring machine for Selwyn United.
Yeah, they'll be delighted Dan Eade's back. He's a little bit of a talisman for Selwyn United, and when he plays, they're a different team.
And here's this pace through the midfield. Again, chance at goal. And wide. Again, end to end. Change of possession. Taking the opportunities. Worrying the Selwyn defence are the Phoenix. Look at the delivery here.
Yeah, and Josh Ridland will be disappointed that he's not got a first half hat-trick, as Selwyn United look to be making a change. Jack Allett coming off, number 5 Jack Allett. It looks as if Joe Arnott's going to come on, which I mean a bit of a tactical switch from Selwyn United too. Callum Murdoch will come and play in the midfield, and Joe Arnott will play in that front 3.
Alrighty, so that's an early change in the 22nd minute. As you mentioned, tactical again, the race to the loose ball. Selwyn United still struggling a little bit under a lot of pressure to keep the ball, and they haven't this time. Again, it's been turned over and they pour into the attack, and it's just underpassed. Really, that last one was meant to go flatter and squarer possibly. There he is, Pietataku Birima, the goalkeeper for Selwyn, under all sorts of pressure today. 2-0, the Phoenix lead. 2 wonderful goals, team goals you could call them. Josh Ridland has them both, but it's been the lead up and the interplay and the really accurate passing and playing the game at speed. We've talked about that so much already. Happy just to let it go over the sideline. Pressure, always pressure on the pass, on the possession. Oh, the tussle for possession.
And that's young Adam Supik, picking up the first yellow card of the day with a agricultural challenge on Dorian Grolt. And that'll be a free kick in a dangerous area for Selwyn United, and they are a big team, so they'll look to take their opportunity when it comes to set pieces.
Well, it's an important part. You would think that they would have many variations for what they could achieve here. This is a really good opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see how they execute this, and let's have a look at the defence that the Phoenix have got as well.
And yeah, the Phoenix are no small team, but a little bit of potentially naivety from set pieces, but we'll see as this one comes in from Daniel Lead.
Now just waiting for everyone to get into position. Referee Chris Bennett saying, calm down everyone. Header into the goal, and there it is. Beautifully executed for Selwyn United.
I think that's offside,
is
unfortunately.
it? Oh, no.
Dorian Grolt must have strayed into an offside position as we look here on the replay. Again, difficult to see from that, but yeah, potentially offside.
What a shame for them. It looked as though it must have been a really split decision, as they normally are.
Yeah, it looked as though it should have been. It was probably tight, and it was a good header from Dorian Grolt. But what that will do is tell Selwyn United that set pieces, they can be really, really dangerous against the Wellington Phoenix, and they'll look to build those set pieces as we go through the game.
What about the delivery from Dan Eade? Here's another awkward challenge too. Really getting amongst it.
Yeah,
that's Dorian Grolt.
I hope he's okay. He's got a little bit of a history of shoulder and head knocks because he does get up into high areas with his jumping. So I hope he's okay, and he'll be hugely important for Selwyn United.
Well, they might be young, this Wellington Phoenix side, but they play it as tough as anybody. One-on-one, they'll want it.
Absolutely. You don't, someone like Chris Greenacre is your head coach. He's played 500 professional games. You don't, he won't allow players to half heart it, if you like, in terms of application. If you're going to play for Chris Greenacre, you're going to have to put 100% in. I think Chris Bennett was saying potentially he wanted the player to go to the side, or I'm not sure what the referee wanted then. But Selwyn United restart.
Right, again, it's not long before they lose possession, and again some clever work. Here is the Phoenix in full flight again, and Birima does really well, doesn't he?
He does excellently there, closes down that angle so quickly. Louis Timmy potentially a little bit greedy here. There was a couple of cutback options, I think that's really important for Louis Toomey's development in terms of getting results from those positions, whether it be assists or goals. But again, another chance for Wellington Phoenix on the break.
It's a tough angle, isn't it, to try and score from. You have to have great accuracy to be able to do that. But, I mean, that's the beauty of youth, really, is that they back themselves, don't they?
The naivety of youth, certainly.
Yeah. Well, asking for some help with the whistle, and they get it, do the Phoenix. And 26 minutes gone, and it is 2-0. Wellington Phoenix, both these sides, if you've just joined us, have yet to record a win in the South Central Series. But the Phoenix, this is their goalkeeper, Albie Kelly-Heald, and they have really taken this game in the early stages by the scruff of the neck. 4th minute goals, 11th minute goals, both by Josh Ridland. And here they are again. The team in yellow pouring forward. Interplay has been often. And goalkeeper Pieter Tako Birama have been in action most of the time in the 27 minutes that we've been going in this match here in Christchurch. Phoenix with the throw-in. He's been involved, hasn't he, so often, Joseph Chiari.
Yeah, absolutely, and Joseph, or Joe, is, you know, he's a hard-working young boy from the Waibop region. Works as hard as anybody, and you know his own success will come from his own work. He's one of those young men that deserves everything he gets. Same with Charlie Beale, who's playing in midfield for the Phoenix today. You'd be hard pushed to find harder workers than the pair of them in youth football in this country.
Yeah, certainly looks like a leader out there on the field and takes the initiative. Yeah, another free kick to the Phoenix, and again that pace that they're able to initiate in that midfield and get the 4 at the back really moving quickly. Oh, and just a slight miss. He just thought that he'd lost the ball. Birama. Geez, had a lot of work already. He will feel that he's right in the game, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's one of those, they joke about it, Selwyn United has been huge for them, but they joke and say, you know, he's just doing his job. And if he was conceding goals, he wouldn't be doing his job. So he's huge for them, both on and off the pitch. And I know Chris Brown is very, very loyal to him too, in terms of his work and how much he can commit. And it's great to see that loyalty being rewarded.
Nice ball through, but, well, read and cut off. Again, that word accuracy springs to my mind and what they've done. Just to exert that little bit more pressure back on Selwyn, the Phoenix players today. Right from the back, right through. Yeah,
and it's something you've talked about. It is the intensity or the pace and the speed of the game. And I think if there's one thing for us locally to really take on board after this South Central series is how we bring that to our local game. It's really, really important. You know, we used to talk a lot with the Canterbury United Dragons about how it could take us 3 or 4 weeks to get up to the pace. There isn't 3 or 4 weeks in this new model, so we're going to have to find a way to really up what we do locally in order to compete at the very highest level in New Zealand. And Kashmir Technical doing a grand job in terms of competing, and Dan Schwartz and Dan Terrace have got them very well organised. And you saw last week, you know, sit deep to hurt teams on the counter. But it's really, really important that we locally can get to this level in terms of the way we play the game and we apply ourselves. And hopefully that'll be a learning for next season moving forwards. Absolutely, and look, this game has got a lot to go in it yet, but isn't it fascinating while we're trying to match the intensity and the pace of even this league here, but what these young group of players from the Phoenix are able to put on as a, you know, they're not clearly all from Wellington. We know there's a couple out there from here in Christchurch, and they're all, whether they're from Hamilton or what, but the fact that they can come together and put this kind of football on, this is great for the future. Yeah, football in New Zealand is definitely going in the right direction, and it's hugely important that we see that as that ball goes direct, it looks into Louis Toomey. Lovely first touch.
Here again, and he'll look for an opportunity again. Decides to go on his own, does Toomey.
He's a very talented young man, Louis Toomey, and the world is his oyster in terms of football. I've seen him play, and you know, seen him come from Napier and into the Phoenix setup, and he's got everything to be a top footballer, both at the local football and hopefully also progressing himself. I think that end product piece is the bit that we really need to see him progress with. And he did score a lot of goals in the Central League this year for Lower Hutt, but the next step, can he convert those, which is really important.
Good tackle, and the ball comes through the midfield for Selwyn United this time. Dan Eade has the ball. A mercurial scorer. Again, just that finish. Might have got away with that at a lower level, but certainly not here. Henry Hamilton able to get the ball back on the feet of the Wellington Phoenix. Look at that ball through. Oh, and again, high, wide and handsome this time. Going down the left side, trying to exploit something. But they are working relentlessly together, the young Wellington Phoenix. It'll be interesting to put a stopwatch on when they get that ball just in their defensive half, the Phoenix, and how soon it gets to the edge of the box.
Yeah, and Selwyn United are playing a little bit into their hands. You can see those two deeper midfield players from the Wellington Phoenix have turned over a lot of ball like this, as you see. And they'll look just to progress with numbers, with 4 or 5 players, and that's what's catching Selwyn United out at this point.
And so where's the support? And no whistle. Good. No, that goes a bit later. So they were demanding that the whistle go for Selwyn. So it's interesting, though, when the player receives the ball, having a look around to the passing options. This is what the Phoenix have done well. They always have to have a couple, don't they? And it's just being able to lift yourself up to that next level. But let's see what they've got. Contest, a good challenge, and a chance now. I thought he was going to run onto it and have a shot at goal. It's a better last 10 minutes from Selwyn in terms of putting something together and really testing.
Definitely, and what I think they'll potentially look to do is sort of bypass that midfield of the Wellington Phoenix, because that's maybe where they can hurt the Wellington Phoenix. Them trying to play through them is proving a real challenge, and the Wellington Phoenix, as you mentioned, to win the ball.
Well, this is a good build-up, isn't it, from Selwyn? They've kept the ball 4 passes over there on the right, and then being able to switch play and stretch open that Phoenix defence. This is Eade again, taking the ball through, has a lick at the goal, but again it's rebounded off, and they are under pressure again as the counter-attack comes on from the Wellington Phoenix. And this time it is goal number 3. There is no doubt about that. Look at that, from deep defence, turned it over, pace of the midfield, up there in numbers. Goal number 3.
Goal number 3, and goal number 3 for young Josh Ridland. Great work on that left-hand side by Caelan Noyen, who I think Jaden Booth did his best to professionally bring him down on the counter, but big, powerful boy, and then a pinpoint delivery to Josh Ridland, who doesn't panic as the big Peter Tarko Birama is bearing down on him, and it's a good finish. Yeah. It's a good finish, and Wellington Phoenix deservedly 3-0 up after 34 minutes.
Absolutely, and they are continuing to show us the intent that they have come out on English Park today. They probably more than anyone were feeling the hurt of setting up games where they could have won them, the Phoenix, and hadn't come through. But by gee, they have put together a stunning performance. And we talked about earlier missing from the lineup Oscar Van Hattem, their goal scorer. He's not here, so everyone else has taken the responsibility in helping the outcome. Yeah,
and sometimes what you find with young players, Leslie, is you take out a few older heads, and the younger boys come in and they want to express themselves and show what they're all about. Something they may be a little bit more tentative to do with the older boys in there, and I think that's what you're seeing is Josh Ridland's come in for Oscar Van Hattem, and he's gone, okay, I'll show you I'm just as good as Oscar, and he's bagged himself a first half hat-trick, which is excellent to see.
Oh, stunning, absolutely stunning. And it has certainly ripped open this game for them, that's for sure, because at the moment it probably little bit of skill we just saw then is indicative of how they have dominated the game. But as we keep saying, there's a lot to go in the match. But again, it's the Phoenix, another relentless yellow wave coming down. No player challenging until then. It's a good tackle, but its exit ball is back straight out into the Phoenix player. And this ability to keep the ball when there's nothing quite on. Confidence just to kick it around. 3-0. Wellington Phoenix over Selwyn United.
And knowing Chris Brown well, I think he'll want to just get through to half-time here. It's where he does his magic. It's where he's very good, is in the half-time team talk, and he'll try and change a couple of things and see if he can get his side back into the game. Assistant Gary Woodin, who's son of ex-All-White Steve Woodin, is very knowledgeable about the game, and they'll have a conversation and calmly try and figure out how they can get back into this game. So certainly not game over. It just makes it a little bit more difficult when you give the Wellington Phoenix a 3-0 head start.
Absolutely, that they have burst through, implemented the game plan pretty much on point, and this time the ball goes across and it will be a corner. So have we seen a corner from the Phoenix yet?
I'm not sure we have. No,
I'm not sure we have either. So this will be interesting to see what their players or their ploys at this pretty vital set piece play. It's good to see a good crowd in here at English Park. Might not be happy with where the game's at for the locals, but well, a wonderful opportunity to see brilliant young footballing talent from the Phoenix, and this time just headed out over the back, and it'll be a goal kick. Yeah,
absolutely. You talk about seeing young talent from the Wellington Phoenix, and I know clubs around the country, as we watch this replay, ball in from Henry Hamilton. It was whipped in. First contact by Kelly here, not quite able to put that in the direction he wanted to. But yeah, a lot of clubs talk about when you play the Phoenix Reserve, some of the players you've played against over the years and where they're at now, you know, Sarpreet Singh, Libby Kakache in particular, Gianni Stensonis, Joe Bell. You know, when you play these teams, you're hoping that one of these boys that are playing here will go on to Europe and bigger and better things.
And a chance too for some of the young Selwyn United team. This is Dan Eade with the ball for United. Can he get it across the face? Again, some good defending and goal kick.
Yeah, absolutely. I was speaking to Chris Greenacre before, and young guys at Topham's is a very good talent. He's having a tough game today against this right-hand side of the Wellington Phoenix, but 2005 born player. You know, he's an excellent prospect for Selwyn United, and you know, there's 3 or 4 at the Wellington Phoenix who did come from Selwyn United, and that's something that the club are very proud of. I'm proud to see them progress.
Absolutely, and the other thing, you know, from a investment in terms of what you talked about, playing the match at pace and intensity, is what it will mean. This will be food for thought. They'll think about this game for a long time. Yeah,
100%. And you know, the one thing Selwyn United do very, very well as a club is they'll perceive and execute based on what they've seen.
Chance for the Phoenix to add to their total. That one. In the end.
Yeah, it came to not a lot. It's a good chance for the Wellington Phoenix there in there.
Point blank range opportunity.
There'll be another corner to be delivered by Henry Hamilton.
Good to have a left footer. Good strong left boot. And you can see the wind just ruffling that flag, the corner flag. Nice little dinky. Oh, and that was another opportunity in there. The accuracy again, that word comes out for the Phoenix. It was in the right place.
And that's why you have men on the post. I think it was Luke McCarr on the post for Selwyn United there after the first contact from Noyen. And yeah, that's a big reason. And Peter Tako Biramar is able to pick up the second pieces.
Well, they've made their most opportunities down the left when Selwyn have had it. Dan Eade just hoops the ball forward. And And that is legal. There's no one offside there. Already got overexcited when we thought they'd scored before.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass that from Daniel Eade, finding Joe Arnott in behind. And I think that's potentially where Selwyn United are going to get a bit of joy, is they just test the Wellington Phoenix in behind and really look to push them as much as they possibly can. This trying to play through the lines has cost them in transition.
Now the ball out wide again to Chiari. And it's, well, not desperation isn't the right word, but it is just the defending has to be at its most accurate.
Definitely, and Selwyn United are excellent at that, so it's not a bad thing in terms of scrambling and protecting their 18-yard box. They're up there with the best in the league at that, and they will defend with their lives in front of their own goal.
And what's happening here is the goalkeeper, Peter Tako Birama, has he taken a knock?
Yeah, I think that might be from that corner where he took a little bit of contact, and it also looks like Isaac Hughes for the Wellington Phoenix on the halfway lines potentially got a little bit of a knock too. And that's an interesting story too, Leslie. The physio for the Wellington Phoenix is John O'Pledger. He's got two brothers, Liam and Matthew, who used to play for Selwyn United.
Oh, right.
So both have represented Selwyn United previous years. So a little bit of a family connection there too.
Oh, it's the family sport, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So the twin brothers for Wellington Phoenix on the playing sheet today, Albie Kelly-Heald and Lucas Kelly-Heald. Both very similar physically, very tall, strong, dominant players. How cool that must be for the parents to watch and see where their boys have come from to where they are now.
Certainly, as we look at Isaac Hughes on the floor there, not sure if he's down for an injury or if he's down for a little bit of a sunbathe. As he lies down. He's a funny boy, Isaac Hughes. Family are from Warrington in the UK. Living up on the Kapiti coast. Yeah, great young man, great family. Dad still plays at Kapiti Coast, I believe. Let's see if he can carry on.
Well, he's coming off, isn't he? Just briefly, maybe. Isaac Hughes. See how we get on. The good news for Selwyn, though, is that Birama, the goalkeeper, has stayed on. And the game will now get underway into, probably got some extra minutes to play, but into the 44th minute, and it's 3-0. Phoenix looking for goal number 4.
Phoenix really combining well in that final third, which is hurting Selwyn United at times. But they will look to get a press on here. Grolt looks to put pressure on the back four. Well turned over by Danny.
Well, they need to be the next ones to score, that's for sure. If you're looking as far as writing the script for a really exciting finish, Selwyn have to be the team that scores next.
Absolutely, I think 4 would be one too many, but that won't be in the minds of Selwyn United. It'll be how do we get back into this game, a proactive mindset, and they'll believe that they're absolutely in this game.
That man there has had an integral part in where Wellington Phoenix find themselves in this match. He's been fantastic. Joseph Chiari.
Ridland desire to try and get on the end of that ball there is huge. Chiari's been excellent, but we can't overshadow the hat-trick from Josh Ridland. You'd be hard put to put anyone who's had a poor game for the Phoenix so far.
Good contest, but again the possession being won by the Phoenix, and thought that he was going to take a shot. It's taken a deflection and it'll be a corner. So I don't know what he's asking for, Henry Hamilton. He's certainly having some words with Chris Bennett.
And fourth official Aaron Nottage has just presented 4 minutes to be added on. So 4 minutes to get through for both coaches to compile their thoughts, and then they'll have 15 minutes to affect their teams at half-time.
Here comes the corner, and over the sideline it'll go, and it will be a Phoenix throw-in, handy area for them. And again, the man who's probably done the most, if you had, I'm sure they've got GPS on them, have they, the players?
Yeah, the Wellington Phoenix definitely will.
Yep. I'd be interested to know Joe Chiari's GPS at the end of this match.
Absolutely, he's been excellent for the Wellington Phoenix.
And the pace, look at that. Always knew that they had a player out wide and deliver it back to Chiari, and well blocked. And Selwyn will come away with some hard-earned possession. Again, look at the pressure going on the lone player. Clever work. That is stunning work, isn't it?
Yeah, Charlie Beale. Again, another young player who's outstanding in terms of his work rate, but really, really clever player. As Selwyn United look to break here down that left-hand side.
There they go. Arnott, can he get the ball into where they need it to go? And again, look at the contest. And they'll earn themselves a free kick. Will Phoenix, strong challenge, too strong.
Yeah, and definitely a foul on the big centre-back there. But for a young boy, he's big and rangy and strong, and yeah, done very well. Both centre-backs have done very well. You know, they're 2004, 2005 born players at centre-back. So done excellently against what is a physical front partnership for Selwyn United.
Kelly Heald boots it high up the field. And the speculative kick again this time falls. That'll be offside. Ridland again worrying that Selwyn defence, that deep defence. But it's off the ball stuff that they're doing so well. You know, when they're running hard. Here he is again, Ridland, putting pressure on where it's coming back, and even if he hasn't got the ball, he's creating havoc by taking his defensive player right back with them.
Definitely, and the compete word is one that I know Chris Greenacre will talk a lot about with them, as again this right hand side for the Phoenix.
Shot at goal, curling it round. Did he get a touch on it? Baramat.
And potentially the issue there is you see the top three for Selwyn United almost staying away and not defending is what's causing these issues for them. They are dangerous on the counter-attack, Selwyn, but because they don't track those fullbacks all the way, it means the fullbacks for Selwyn United have got 2v1s to deal with, and that midfield for them have to do a lot of work. So it'll be interesting to see how that's remedied at half-time. I think that's going to be important for Chris Brown and his team to remedy. Otherwise, the Phoenix will keep going in terms of creating those 2v1s in wide areas.
Yeah, great analysis coming from Lee Padmore. Not just looking at the skill level of the Selwyn United, but of course he is closely following his charges that he used to have in the Wellington Phoenix, you know, and have had something to do with just about all these Phoenix players.
Yeah, fortunately enough. And there's only a couple when I was shaking hands with them before that I didn't know. You know, I'm very wary of not talking about developing players. You know, they are their own developers, but working with these young players was some of the best times I had in terms of coaching, and it was really, really good fun as half-time is called.
There it is, yes, and it definitely, without doubt, belongs to the Wellington Phoenix, who threw a hat-trick, a stunning hat-trick from Josh Ridland. The teamwork that it's involved heading to that, but how fantastic for this young side to come through. Both teams looking for a win in the South Central Series, but it is the Wellington Phoenix who are ahead of Selwyn United. All the work ahead for Selwyn United. 3-0, and just sum up that half for us quickly, Lee.
Definitely. So for Wellington Phoenix have been excellent. Selwyn United have worked as hard as they possibly can and potentially played into the hands of the Wellington Phoenix. And it'll be interesting to see what the Selwyn United team come back with in terms of whether they'll go a little bit more direct to try and overcome what the Phoenix are doing. But I'm looking forward to the second half. Yep,
I am too. It is the Wellington Phoenix 3, Selwyn United. Now, stay with us. We'll be back shortly after half-time. And we can tell you in the match, Southern United Capital Football. And, of course, Sunday tomorrow, this is the women's. Central Football will host the Canterbury United Pride in Palmerston North. So there we have it. At the moment, Capital ahead of Southern. We'll bring you more in the second half here from English Park.
days are on their way. Forever's how long they'll stay. Brighter days are on their way. Chasing sunsets in the sky. Won't let these moments pass us by. Take my hand, don't be afraid. The brighter days are on their way. Brighter days are on their way. Forever's how long they'll stay. Brighter days are on their way.
I'ma hit the gas, once I tap it, I'm gone. Faster than the flash when I get in this zone. Higher than a plane, stay up by my lane. Oh, I do it different and they really can't explain. Let me elevate, let me elevate you. Let me elevate, let me elevate you.
Well, the players are coming back onto English Park, and let's see what the reply is from Selwyn United, down 3-0 against this. Well, it's been hot football, you've got to say, from the Wellington Phoenix. 3-0 up, and they have pressurised the Selwyn United team, not just defensively, but all over the park, right from the opening whistle.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned in the first half, I really want Selwyn United to come out flying here and make a game of this. You know, they want to put a representation on the pitch that is Selwyn United, and I'm hoping for that. But I'm also hoping for some continued success for the Wellington Phoenix, because it's awesome to see young Kiwi players put on the field some attractive football and some real desire to play the game in a really nice and attractive way.
Absolutely, and show the leadership that they have up front as well, and their creativity has been really, we were looking forward to seeing what kind of game they would put on. We've been treated, really, haven't we, to a really sparkling display. Fast, they've made really good choices on most occasions, and it's been their interplay and their accuracy has been really impressive.
Absolutely, and it looks here that Selwyn United have flipped Joe Arnott and Danny from the start, which potentially is because of the joy Joe Chiari was having down that right-hand side.
So early on, a good challenge from the United captain. We'll see his team come away with some possession early on. I haven't seen the ball too much down, pressurising that Phoenix defence at all during the match, as opposed to the Josh Ridland hat-trick for the Wellington Phoenix in the 4th minute, 11th minute and 35th minute. A culmination of some fabulous passing, and Dan Eade up there worrying the Phoenix defence. So good to see him right up there as well. We know he's a goal scorer.
Absolutely. In front of goal, there's not many better locally, and in the National League he's also a threat. As Louis Toomey progresses the ball for the Phoenix here.
They've been good up both flanks, haven't they? And their quickness through the midfield gives them another opportunity out wide, looking for a cross. Is it a free ball, a free shot? It'll be
offside.
Yep.
Another offside for the Wellington Phoenix. They are living life on the edge a little bit with those offsides.
Well, they can afford to be, can't they? I mean, they got caught a couple of times in the first half, but they can afford to be now.
Absolutely, and it's, you know, that offside line is a tight one, and it's important you live life on the edge with that. It allows you, it's that thin line between getting in beyond and being called offside. So.
Well, we saw Selwyn United put one in the back of the net, but it was called offside from a free kick, which was beautifully placed by Dan Eade, but in the end it was offside, and they could have dragged one back. But again, we say the next team that scores has to be Selwyn United to get themselves back into the match. Dan Eade, all right. Already we've seen a different demeanour about Selwyn in the opening minutes. We've only had one or two in the second half, but they seem to be quicker and finding each other better.
Absolutely, they've come out to get on top of this Phoenix team a little bit more, rather than potentially showing them a little bit too much respect in the first half, or maybe even lack thereof respect in terms of coming up against young players. But if you give these Phoenix players too much respect, they're good footballers, and age is just a number.
Absolutely, they've had a lot of resource thrown into them though, because they've exhibited early some very good talents. But it is Selwyn United who have got the ball and are giving the Phoenix a little taste of the pressure. This is much more accurate from Selwyn. And they'll be looking to make something of this early ball out here on the right-hand side now, going towards the goal and over the top. Yeah. Promising,
and good little combinations during goal back to goal, but in the end a disappointing delivery from young Oliver Cosgrove. But yeah, much better from Selwyn United, much more positive. So it'll be interesting to see how long they can carry that on for, and hopefully they can get some rewards out of it.
You say you know and have coached with Chris Brown, the Selwyn United coach, a long time. What do you think the main thing he would have said to his team? being 3-0 down at half-time.
Yeah, I reckon he'd have talked heavily about why, you know, why are we here? Why are we in the National League? And it's because we've been hard to beat. We've been compact. We've been great on the counter, and we've potentially not shown that in the first half. So let's go back to forget about the result, forget about the score. Let's go back to being us, and see if we can progress in the second half from there. And yeah, I imagine there was something similar from assistant coach Gary Woodin.
Very good. Lee Pegmore giving us all the inside knowledge that he has on both teams. Now for the Phoenix into the second half. What can they put together? Already, again, showing us the accuracy that they did and being able to pass, find each other, take good options. Again, going goalwards, and Bittimer has to come out and close that angle. He does beautiful.
He does, and he's not to know that young Josh Ridland was offside again, but he does rush off his line quickly and well, and he's a big frame. He's a big frame when he's bearing down at you at that pace, as he sends this one direct into, well, Lucas Kelly-Heed straight away. Henry Hamilton.
Here we are, the ball going through again, in behind those United defenders, and waiting for the whistle. That's, I
Looked to be a handball to me.
Yeah, it did, and very composed from Booth as well for Selwyn United, but they're not out of the danger yet. And contesting better, I think, Selwyn United. But look at the number of yellow shirts, and a lovely little deft pass that was clever from Adam Supik.
Yep, and offside again. Offside again with Louis Toomey, but again, those runs beyond the Selwyn United back four is really what's causing them issues. But definitely looked to be a handball from Noyen while he was lay on the ground. So interesting, that wasn't given.
Now, Peter Tako Birima has a look up the field. You can see how much more this easterly has got up at English Park.
Those locks blowing in the wind for Peter
Good
Tako.
kick. A great kick. Lots of power behind that. And this time, and again the challenge being whistled against Selwyn United. Now they start again. There's a bit more pressure in the back here. We saw the Phoenix do this to Selwyn in the opening stages, and they did it well, and it's good to see Selwyn coming back and doing the same thing.
Yeah, definitely, and it really has been a hallmark of Selwyn in terms of being difficult to beat, being in your face, being together. So I think it's really important they go back to that. The score actually doesn't matter. You know, everyone's delighted that they're here and they're putting on a representation of what they're about. But it's important they stay true to that as much as they possibly can. And I think in the second half you'll see a lot of that. They'll try and get in the faces of the Phoenix and really be hustle and bustle, which will be great to see.
I think they already have, and I don't think that Henry Hamilton was very happy with that one. And there's a few words coming in from referee Chris Bennett as well on the Selwyn players, but they're certainly contesting and getting closer.
Absolutely, and Henry Hamilton's yeah, he's one to throw his weight around as well, so I don't think he can complain too much about the odd late challenge. As Callum Murdoch turns the ball over here and tries to go early with the ball, may have been better to continue with the ball, but that pressure again, you see.
Did he see that Kelly Heald was out of his goal?
Yeah, I think so.
And just thought, oh, can I poke it in behind? But a chance nonetheless for Selwyn.
Yeah, real opportunity there.
3-0 it remains. That was the half-time score. If you've just joined us, a hat-trick to Josh Ridland. And it's being more even again. Another Phoenix player down. This will be a yellow card again. So they're certainly taking no prisoners, are Selwyn, in the opening stages of the second half.
No, and young Callum Murdoch there up against same-aged Finn Conchi. Probably wanted to stamp his authority a little bit on someone who's the same age as him and show that, you know, they might be at the Wellington Phoenix, but just because I'm at Selwyn United doesn't mean I'm not at the same level as you. But no, Callum Murdoch's a good football player. And yeah, he's got a little bit about him to put about, and he'll try and raise the level through that.
Again, more pressure going on the possession for the Phoenix, having to work harder, and they're resulting in turnover for Selwyn. getting the ball out very quickly as well. This time putting the ball in behind. Happy to go back to the goalkeeper. Toomey delivers. Got such silky skills, some of these players, haven't they, under pressure? The Phoenix players coming away on their right-hand side. And corner. When they move and get that ball through the midfield, they move and you can see the lines just pushing up and the pace that the Phoenix are able to put on this game.
Certainly, and I know it's something we talked about at half-time, Leslie, was the athleticism of the young Phoenix boys, and we saw it last week with the Western Suburbs team, and the majority of the Olympic and Miramar, you know, that level up in terms of the athleticism shown as the ball's delivered by Henry Hamilton.
Nice and high this time, but just perhaps not the direction that he would have liked. Two defenders, but a better challenge again from Selwyn. At least putting some pressure. Sometimes we saw in that first half that the Phoenix players are able to receive the ball with no pressure on them at all.
Yeah, it's certainly not been the case. The second half, they've definitely tried to put themselves about Selwyn and get as much pressure on the ball as they can. And Louis Toomey finds himself on the edge of the area.
Here's another chance for the team wearing yellow. Oh, great work. Wasn't much in it. Miramar came right out very quickly. He had to close that gap.
Absolutely. But sometimes when you get a little bit closer to these, the likes of the Phoenix, it actually becomes easier for them when there's pressure on the ball, because they can move the ball even quicker. And they'll unlock you. So you have to be very organised if you are going to go and press the ball, otherwise they will unpick you.
Lots of yellow shirts around to offer support for the Phoenix. Always a couple of options on, this time going forward. And again, eluding his marker. And Noyen gets the ball across the face. And composed defending, but the exit ball isn't as accurate as they would have liked. Goalkeeper comes out, slide saves, looks to regain possession, but his defender's back there. And getting a bit of praise from the 100 that have gathered here at English Park.
Definitely, again, Chiari causing trouble on that side. Danny looks to switch play.
Oh, this is good work from Selwyn, switching from left to right, back to the left, stretching open the Phoenix defence. This is much more even.
Much more even, much more end-to-end. I'd be interested to see how long both sides can go at this pace from end to end. But again, you know, Selwyn United have got to continue with this sort of style that is them, you know, in your face, hard to beat, competitive. And if they can get something on the break when they turn the ball over, that's great.
Albie Kelly-Heald, can you believe that tall frame is just 16 years of age? Wonderful physique to play the game. And now that speculative pass up through the middle, well controlled as well. Again, it's Josh Ridland. He's worried that Selwyn defence all day. And now the cross into the box. Who does it find?
It's lovely to see with the two Phoenix forwards, actually. You don't see it very often anymore with forwards that just want to run in behind, as opposed to come off the front and link the play. It's really nice to see with Ridland and Noyen. Toomey, well blocked by Pritchard.
Still with the Phoenix. And that boy, Henry Hamilton, again is looking to make a point. Biel offloads. Clever, accurate work, just looking for that little exquisite pass into the box. And across, still live, and point blank save.
What a save from Peter Tarko. It's an unbelievable save. I think it may have taken a deflection too, so if it has, it makes an even better save. Just having a look here, well done by Supik, cut back to Noyen. Oh, can't tell from that angle. Either way, it's a great save. From the Flying Dutchman, they called him at Selwyn United. Yeah, excellent save, and keeps the score at 3-0.
He was ready for it, wasn't it? I mean, that's the other thing, is the positioning that he's got, and the fact that he wants the ball to come to him.
Yeah, he's getting to that age now where he's an experienced goalie too.
Nice and high, but is it too far? That's where we saw the last one. Almost identical place, and again it'll be the Phoenix with the throw-in. Again, as we saw in the first half, wanting to keep that pace going, that momentum, and taking it quickly, not waiting. Freedom in the midfield. No one putting any pressure on. Hamilton. Oh, it's absorbing, isn't it? Watching every pass we are. This is much more structured and sure from Selwyn, having a lot more say in terms of possession.
Do you see Jamie carried us there? As Noyen puts pressure on Pritchard, but he's just looking for some help there. He's dribbling, and people seem to be running away from us. Phoenix again on that counter on the fast break.
Yeah, Pritchard went forward, and there's the chance again, looking to make it number 4. And they do. And it's hand claps and hugs all round.
Yeah, it's an excellent finish from Louis Toomey here as the Phoenix pick off Selwyn United again in the midfield, and a fast break. Louis Toomey finds himself one-on-one and coolly slides past Peter Tarko, Biramar, and that's disappointing for Selwyn United, but real joy for the Wellington Phoenix as they turn the ball over in the middle, and again fast break, almost identical to 2 or 3 of the goals previously.
Absolutely. We'd seen in that first half Louis Toomey taking the ball down the left and trying to go close to the goalkeeper's right-hand post, but this time he slotted it in exactly the right place, had a better angle to work from, but was expert in his finish, wasn't he, in the 60th minute. So 4-0.
4-0 with half an hour to go. It's important Selwyn United now really focus on keeping their heads up, and they put on a show of what they're about for the last half an hour, because this is the last home game, or if you call it home game, of the season, and they've had an excellent season, and it's really important they show their fans what they're really made of and what they're about.
Into the box, and that big tall frame, so expertly able to get it out, and even their exit ball, the Wellington Phoenix, usually goes into a place that's not dangerous for them, and it doesn't come straight back at them. Here it comes. Chance now, and
it's a chance for Reid on the edge of the area. Didn't quite take it as he wanted, but going back to your point, clearances from the 18-yard, that'll be something again that Chris Getty-Naker's talking about, in terms of it's not necessarily the pretty stuff, playing out from the back or playing through the thirds. It's more the stuff you learn as a pro of, if you're going to clearing it into zones where we're going to have players and where we can pick up the second ball, and his insights for that are going to be vital for these young players.
pretty cool to have that level of coaching, but in the end about upskilling. You talked earlier in the first half about getting the pace of the game up a couple of notches here in Christchurch and the wider Canterbury area, and in the end it is a coaching tool, isn't it? I mean, you say, how do you do that unless you're playing the games? But out of the games, it is a coaching. It's all about demanding, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important we have a concentration on that locally in the South Island. It's not just Christchurch, Nelson and down towards Dunedin too. And we have a focus on lifting what it is we do. The clubs have had exposure to the level now in terms of... chance here for Ridland.
The Phoenix, and a shot at goal again. It's coming often for the Phoenix. There's a little chat between the players where it could have been delivered better, maybe.
Yeah, he's scored 3 goals. He's never passing that, I don't think, Josh Ridland, but he is offside again. But yeah, going back to that point, it's really important we use this as a positive stepping stone of, okay, this is the level, this is where we're at, and how do we, as a region, one of the reasons I came back from the Wellington Phoenix because I believed in Canterbury football, I believe in Cantabrians and the South Island, and I think it's really important we use this as a positive step of, okay, let's figure out how we can fix it, because I truly believe we can.
Well, there's plenty of numbers playing the game, so the athletes have to be there. Nice touch up that right flank. And again, the contest being won by the Phoenix. And you know, that the not to take anything away from Selwyn, but the way that the young Phoenix players have executed their skills and just their body position that they get into ensures that they generally come away with the whistle as well, because they're in really good positions.
Yeah, they get their body in line with the ball and the man, and they, again, it's professional things as we look to see Ridland and beyond. That Selwyn United back four finds Noyen.
Oh, a great chance, and he expertly brought down as well by Noyen, wasn't it? The control of the ball with the player right on him.
Yeah, excellent, and it's a great challenge by Ollie Cosgrove. He's playing it right back for Selwyn United today, but yeah, Ridland looks to find Noyen in behind, and lovely first touch. And one thing with Caelan, as you know, is all he's thinking about is, can I score a goal, can I score a goal? And it's excellent to see from a young man.
Still with the Phoenix, searching for goal number 5, they're 4-0 ahead, and player that's done so well to me.
And that's out for a corner, I think. Deflection. Yeah, corner ball.
Yeah, well, their control when they've been dribbling forward at speed has been impressive too, right through the game. Worrying Selwyn every time they bring it through that midfield. There he is, the skipper, wearing 7.
It looks as though the Wellington Phoenix are planning a couple of changes. That looks like young ex-Selwyn United player Johnny Sims looking to come on and join the game, and Blake Chandler, I think. This ball's delivered and well dealt with by Selwyn.
Again, ending up in the same place from their corner kicks in the second half, but it's still alive and it's in the middle and now being headed out, but only to Isaac Hughes. And again, Biramar comes out and saves Selwyn once again. Danede has it for Selwyn. He's come back into this competition and he'll find it for himself, having missed the first couple of rounds. He'll find, you know, this pace of the game, he'll have to bring himself up to speed as well. But he's looked likely.
Yeah, and he's the most likely for Selwyn, and that's why he's in the team. You know, speaking to Chris before the game, and he was saying it's really important that because he's in the team, he creates chances, and he really does. And yeah, that's Johnny Sims coming on for Adam Supik, so that'll be a like for like, and Blake Chandler coming on for Joe Chiari, which will also be a like for like. So Johnny Sims, a versatile or athletic fullback. Blake Chandler, centre back, centre midfielder, but probably play at fullback here. Both players I know very well from my time at the Wellington Phoenix, and Johnny previously from my time at Selwyn, so he'll be delighted to be playing against his former club. He's Selwyn through and through. And you see that smile there as he comes onto the pitch. This will make his year. Yeah,
he'll be playing it hard though. He certainly won't want to be beaten in a one-on-one contest, will he? But what a super game Joe Chiari has had, and the effect he had, particularly in that first half. Yeah,
excellent game from Joe Chiari, and he'll be delighted. You know, he was potentially one of a couple at the Phoenix who weren't sure on where they'd sit, and they played a whole season in Cap Prem, and to see him in the National League is excellent. Very proud of him. Like I said, no one would have worked harder than Joe Chiari, and that's really, really important that we recognise that.
And his leadership too, you know, the way that he initiated the speed of the game, I thought, along with Caelan Noyen as well. I mean, the speed that those two put on, and worried the Selwyn defence midfield right through in that opening 20 minutes. 4th minute goal, 11th minute goal, 35th and 60th, and here's another opportunity to look for more. Oh, and that one goes across the face.
Yeah, it's a 4v2 for the Phoenix there in the Selwyn United 18-yard box. That's a really, really good opportunity for Noyen, and he'll be disappointed because he is a finisher. But Charlie Beale drives into the 18-yard box, and Noyen takes that quickly and just past the far post.
We talked about earlier Louis Toomey as well. I mean, the oldest player on the park for the Wellington Phoenix.
Yeah, he's the oldest, but still only 20 years old. And, you know, they're a young, athletic team.
So we're into the 68th minute.
Yeah, 68th minute, despite our clock on the screen being at 59. We'll keep you up to date with the time while we fix that.
But that scoreline is correct. Wellington Phoenix 4, Selwyn 0. And again, another free kick for the Phoenix. They've had most of the whistle because it's been catch-up football from Selwyn. Now, can they keep it in through Eid? Bringing up the right flank, waiting for the troops to arrive, and gets it across.
Not travelled today, but Paul Temple, the technical director of the Wellington Phoenix Academy, will be delighted with this in terms of the show they've put on. And it's an exciting times actually at the Wellington Phoenix Academy, appointing ex-All-White Rory Fallon as their head of youth yesterday. So great news for young players at the Wellington Phoenix. Exposure to an ex-All-White and obviously All-White's assistant coach. So it'll be great to have him back in the country for young players in Wellington.
Talking of All-Whites and the World Cup, and the news out this morning about qualification is pretty interesting and positive.
Hugely positive. Anything to avoid South America.
Yes, absolutely.
But, you know, to play CONCACAF, you're still going to, it looks as though it'll be Mexico or Panama. And we know after playing Mexico a few years ago that that's no easy game. So Panama will be no fools either. So Danny will be switched on, and he'll be looking at getting through the OFC stages first. And he'll take it stage by stage, and if we do get lucky enough to play Panama, then we'll be looking at that as an opportunity to qualify for the World Cup, which is really important for us as a country in the men's game, because we are in a position of real progression. I feel young players are much better than they have been, it's certainly in my time in the country, and it's a really exciting time to be involved in football in New Zealand.
Yeah, and that new rule that New Zealand football introduced about this league, if it had been a national league, the new rule keeping under 20s and ensuring that they got game time. Yeah,
and I think it's, you know, I don't think it's a rule to stay. I think it's a rule to show clubs that the under 20s can play, and they can play in the competition. It's important that they're there and they're, you know, for the progression of youth players. And you know, if clubs commit to playing the young players, they will progress. And I actually read something the other day from Ralph Rangnick, who's about to be the Man United coach, but he used to be in charge of Red Bull, saying that of the last 2 years in the Champions League, European Champions League, in the last 8, 75% of those players had been playing senior football from 17 years old. So that tells you that the progression for young players is senior football from 17 years old to 20 years old, and it's important that we're part of that. You know, winning the league in New Zealand is great, but we need to be part of something bigger. And, you know, I want New Zealand football to drive that with us, and we all want to be part of something bigger, to say that when we do get to a World Cup, we were part of that, and that's really important.
Absolutely, it is. And holding their own just a little bit better. Selwyn United, they've still conceded in the second half. They were 3-0 down at half-time, and now another one's been put on them, but it's been a better competitive match in the second spell, but there's still a bit to go, still a bit of work. And I can't help but think one of the big parts for me, and we talk often about how well they've come through the midfield, but anything that's come down the back, you know, Lucas Kelly-Hield's been a big frame, hasn't he, to get around. He's done really well.
Yeah, again, you know, I don't want to go on about the age of these young players, but Lucas and Isaac are 04, 05s. They're really, really young men, and they've stood up to the challenge, which is awesome to see.
Well, nothing's happened by accident for the Phoenix, we can assure you on that. It's been pretty accurate from just about everything that they have done in the match.
Yeah, and they get another corner kick, I think, there. Yeah, and, you know, let's not get carried away. I know Chris Greenacre and Steve Coleman definitely won't get carried away. They'll want this to be a part of a learning process. So what, you won one game 4-0. Your process isn't about winning a game 4-0. It's about how can you get into the first team, and that's the message they'll bang on the door. And Chris Greenacre was saying he's prepared this week as what he would do if they were playing Team Wellington, Auckland City, or the Central Coast Mariners. You know, it's important that the players understand it's a chance for the Phoenix.
A different corner this time, didn't quite get the amount of power that he wanted, or the connection, and it didn't really trouble the Selwyn defence, but they still have the ball and enjoy superior possession. Do the Phoenix.
Well dealt with by Isaac Topham there at left back.
Again, have an opportunity. through Toomey and passes off, decides to pass off. And I thought that Sims was going to get a chance. Oh, we've got the ref, he's part of it as well. Little backflip.
Just wants to touch on the ball, Chris Bennett.
Yeah. Look at see again, it just seems to be so many shirts on. Those yellow shirts are everywhere when you look around, and the combination work that the Phoenix are able to put together.
Yeah,
Fitness.
definitely. Yeah, they're very fit, they're very athletic, and they're well organised. So they do pick up those second pieces well. There's a substitution for Selwyn United. Callum Murdoch is going to be replaced by Nick Fairley. Nick's an O-form born attacking player, actually a Football South boy, Balclutha, and he'll move to Selwyn United this year. His family moved up to Christchurch, so good to see him get some minutes.
Absolutely. Again, he'll be able to match himself against these very talented Wellington Phoenix players of the future. We talked about Selwyn United staying in the competition, you know, in terms of the match itself, and you know they have come back into it in the second half, but they'd be looking to get something back from it.
Yeah, they won't want to, you know, they'll want to leave this game with their heads held high. And do you know what? I think from a season point of view, let's not look at an isolated game. No one would have expected Selwyn United to be in this position at the start of the season, and that's the most important thing. I think, you know, as a fan and as an ex, you know, an ex-coach of the club, it's really cool to see. And like I said before, I think they're everybody's second team in this competition because of the story.
Well, look how they've brought that ball out of defence, and the goalkeeper playing his part, not going for the big long kick, passing the ball round. This is fantastic from Selwyn, right from left, deep defence. They have passed the ball and kept possession. And
Definitely.
now turn it over. But that was really impressive, and the composure shown as well.
Definitely, they'll continue to play Selwyn and pass the ball where they can.
Burma comes right out, good searching long ball down the field. So, as we mentioned, you know, every time they get an opportunity to be on the ball for Selwyn, it is an investment in the future of the club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not, you know, just a fledgling club that are starting out there at Selwyn to get some really good facilities as well.
Yeah, huge. The Selwyn District Council will probably be the best council in the country. They won't mind me saying that.
They'll like you saying.
Yeah, real commitment to sport and recreation and what it means to the community. And Selwyn United have been fortunate to be in partnership with the Selwyn District Council, no doubt. That's lovely play again by Selwyn United.
Yep, that is really good stuff. Again, exhibiting, and it gives them an opportunity to have a shot at goal, but that final pass.
And the one thing I'll put out there straight away is, knowing the club as I do, is they won't want this to be a fluke. They'll want this to be a continued and sustainable success. So don't think that this will be the last time you see Selwyn United in the National League. They'll be wanting to continue and continue to compete. They may not have the resources to put into this one team as other clubs might, but they have something different, and they'll want to continue that.
And look, you know, I think if another substitution being made, I think, you know, we talk about Selwyn United. I was talking to Chris Brown earlier in the season, and if you follow Jaden Booth's career, I think he's probably a really good example of, at the beginning of this season, 2021, he got himself fitter and was able to last the 90 minutes, and now this is a different level again. It's requiring a bit more, and I think that's how you judge where they've come from, and the fact that they can be here, put their game on here, while it hasn't turned out the way they want to. Here he is talking of the man himself, and on an individual basis, what they've all learned and gained.
Yeah, and that's vital. That's really vital, and you know, that's the one of the huge benefits of the new league structure in terms of, you know, without the Canterbury United Dragons for local representation, is more players getting exposed to a higher level and realising what it is. You know, it was something that potentially wasn't understood when Canterbury United was around, and people just wanted to be involved with Canterbury United, which was awesome, but didn't necessarily realise the level of commitment and sacrifice that you have to make. And it's important that people are exposed to it, because now the whole region will hopefully learn that you know, it is a different level, and it's important that we take it to the next level. But I mean, we shouldn't concentrate just on Canterbury or the South Island. You know, the Wellington Phoenix have been excellent, and they'll want to take themselves to the next level too. Well,
the Phoenix have taken it to another level for themselves. They certainly have today, because they were winless going into this match, and they have come out here and they have delighted not only themselves, but the coaches certainly must be their supporters back home with what they've been able to put here together, and they have been in control. Really, and Selwyn have been reduced to playing catch-up football. And here they are through Eid again. What can they do with this? Can they get something on goal and give themselves a positive finish? But it has been the hot form today of the Wellington Phoenix. Make no mistake about that. But what we have seen is some fantastic young talent working together, -3 really good players who aren't even on the roster today, the playing roster, and they've come out here and they've stamped their own mark on it.
Yeah, missing 4 really. The Wellington Phoenix, Manny Atchol, Oscar Van Hattem, Finn Sermon and Jackson Manuel. So 4 big players for them, but again, just the depth of talent they do have, you know, certainly shows the future of New Zealand football is in good hands at the Wellington Phoenix.
Now they'll be wanting to impress their coach, Chris Greenacre, and the men at home, who help technically to invest in these young players. Again, the challenge is sure. And again, it's the skipper who's dominating the second half for the Phoenix, looking to get some space, just couldn't quite get away. Much better challenge from Pritchard.
And that's Seb Barton-Ginger, who we didn't mention when he came on for Charlie Beale, so he'll play in a similar position, little left-footed attacking player, full of energy, full of beans, bit of a Duracell battery. So yeah, he's another young 04 born from the central region. Someone will look to get in hit behind here, Danny, with his pace.
Gets it across.
Well dealt with by Isaac Hughes.
And a good boot up the midfield. This is an opportunity now for Selwyn to get something and really worry that Phoenix defence, because they haven't really had any searing pressure on them, have they?
No, no pressure on them as such.
It's been better from Selwyn, much better in the second half. And considering that first half was 49 minutes long, they're doing well. Both teams now through the midfield. Nice, clear, open play coming from Noyen. Shot at goal. Oh, did that hit the crossbar?
Yeah, hit the crossbar.
It was a decent connection, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was Ridland with him, or maybe be frustrated he didn't get the square ball. Oh no, Barton-Ginger, sorry. But again, like I said before, Noyen, when he's in front of goal, he's not thinking about anything else other than scoring a goal. And he'll be disappointed he hasn't put that away. He holds himself to a high standard in front of goal.
Gee, it was powerful though, wasn't it? It certainly rebounded off that crossbar. Got plenty behind it.
Yeah, that transition has really caused Selwyn problems today from the Wellington Phoenix, and potentially wasn't something that they could expose last week against Kashmir Technical, because they did have a lot of the ball and Kashmir Technical actually sat off them. But they are frightening on the counter attack. You know, young athletic team, and they've almost played Selwyn at their own game today, which is interesting as we go again.
Here they go again, that wave of yellow downfield. Toomey can't do much with it, but the composure again from the goalkeeper, Biramar.
It's a lovely pass from Arnott to find Mackay.
Oh, he's barking out the orders. Eid. He's looking to get himself into a handier position to have a shot. Can he unleash one? He does unleash, but it goes over the top. At least he got it away.
And that's where he is dangerous. He's a enigma when he gets into those positions. Like, he can cause anybody problems. He's got great feet, can go both ways. He's a really, really good player in that final third. And final substitution for Selwyn United, young guys at Topham. Had a difficult afternoon, but he's replaced by Troy Pennyquick. Troy actually goes to Spain in January to go study a master's. He's got some aspirations to work in South America and is fluent in Spanish, so
Wow.
good luck to him.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, great young man. And also Luke Mackay is replaced by Risius Mutunhori, young O2 born player from Selwyn United.
All those opportunities for young, talented footballs, whether they be men or women in this country, to go overseas. It's phenomenal, isn't it? We want to keep them here, though.
Yeah.
Chance for Selwyn through Eid. He gets the pass away. Can he keep it in? No. Oh. Again, the accuracy and what this young Phoenix side do.
Almost played themselves into trouble there, though. You know, Chris Greenacre, I'm sure, now will be going 4-0's great. If we get another goal, cool, but we do not concede. It's a learning curve for these players, you know, in terms of game management and making sure that you act professionally in all situations.
Well, those substitutes coming on and bringing some fresh legs, but also some enthusiasm late in the game for Selwyn. Can they get something on the score sheet? Taking the ball right over wide, and in the end over the bar was Joe Arnott.
Yeah, and Joe's missed out on a starting spot today for Daniel Eid. You know, he's done well for Selwyn all year. Not quite the attacking threat that Dan is, but certainly works hard for his team, and you know, that's been on show all year for Selwyn United.
Conchi and Sims working together for the Phoenix. Honest toil. Henry Hamilton offloads. Pushing up in numbers. Noyen.
Offside again.
Yeah.
Really does live on that shoulder when he plays with that line. But yeah, really good to see him constantly stretching the line and making life hard for Selwyn United.
Just another 18-year-old. Caelan Noyen. Little speed to burn. Desires there, no doubt about that.
Yeah, great family too. I saw his dad before. His mum will be watching on the stream, I'm sure. Great family, love their football and their tennis.
I'll tell you what, he's really injected a lot into this Wellington Phoenix side today. There's Caelan Noyen, right from their opening whistle, I think, along with Joe Chiari. They've all worked so well together. They look as though they've been playing together forever.
And that's the beauty of an academy system, is when people leave, you know, you've got the next wave of talent that come in of 6 or 7 who've played together since they were young. You know, all these 03 boys that are in this team played 3 or 4 years ago when I was there all together. So they're very familiar with each other. They all go to school together on the whole and play together. So that looks like a foul by Jamie Carradus in the middle of the park.
But it was, I mean, it was a brilliant, almost brilliant, keeping his balance and still getting the pass away. He gets the assistance from the ref, Isaac Hughes, but no, they want to take it again, do they?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe the referee getting in the way.
Hamilton. Well, get that ball away again. Oh, Ridland has a bit nudge. And another one for good measure. He's been good though, hasn't he, Josh Ridland?
Yeah, really impressed with him. Good friend of mine, Steve Coleman, who's the assistant coach of the Wellington Phoenix. He's talked highly of him from his Capital Premier games this year. But it's a big step up from the Cap Prem to the National League, but he doesn't look out of place.
No, certainly with 3 goals beside his name, he certainly doesn't. I wonder how many times he's scored a hat-trick in, you know, adult football, which is what you call this, even though they're just so young, this team. Jonathan Sims getting some time on the ball for the Phoenix. And we're into the 88th minute. And again, they surge forward, do the Phoenix.
Goal kick.
Desperately trying to get the ball up the other end. Viramar says, come on, push up, guys. Let's get up there. Goalkeeper for Selwyn. Well, the pace hasn't relented from the Phoenix, you have to say. When they do get possession and run through the midfield, it's still really quick.
Yeah, definitely. And they, like we said in the first half, they sit in this mid-block to make life difficult to play through. And then they'll look to expose you quickly. And they've definitely exposed Selwyn on 3 or 4 occasions quickly and punished.
Chance for Selwyn, and adequately nodded away. It's been much more control and more time on the ball in the second half for Selwyn, but the damage was done at 3-0 at half-time. It'll be a free kick for the Phoenix into the dying minutes of this match.
Definitely, and I don't think there'll be a huge amount added on. There's been some substitutions, but other than that, it's been relatively quiet the second half. Selwyn do well to turn that ball over that. But Phoenix again, and that first pass will be forward.
Oh, free ball, and eluded a couple of players. Toomey, oh, look at that, what a finish. One mistake, and look what happens by the defence.
Yeah, Selwyn United will be disappointed with that. They've first ball forward's was punished them, and then again, Louis Toomey's delivered well. But yeah, that transition has really hurt Selwyn United again. The first turnover, first pass forward, and they've just not dealt with that all day. Credit to the Phoenix, they've done their homework and they've punished Selwyn United professionally. But that's 5-0 to the Wellington Phoenix as we go into the 90th minute.
Yeah, well, look, Chris Greenacre, with one thing that he'll be thrilled with his charge is that they've played right to the end. You know, they haven't stopped. They've gone right through, and they haven't been content with 1, 2 or 3. They have kept going. And a great finish. 3 extra minutes. We didn't think there'd be too many more, but I tell you what, Selwyn are going to have to play them and play them hard defensively, because this team is going to keep going, the Phoenix, right to the end. Quite rightly so, but that is another area of the game where they have shown their expertise today, and certainly above their age.
Yeah, certainly. And they got a lesson or two in terms of game management last week from Kashmir Technical, as Noyen gets in beyond. And he's offside again. Yeah, they got a lesson or two from Kashmir Technical in terms of game management and the older mindset in terms of how to get through a game. And they've actually shown that today. You know, how do you get through a game? How do you win a game? And that's very different sometimes to playing nice football. And people get upset with teams that just get through games. But at the end of the day, when you get to National League level, it's about winning games of football. And they've been very professional today, the Wellington Phoenix.
They have, and they're in charge from the 4th minute on. They scored their first goal. 4th, 11th, 35th, 60th and 90th minute. And geez, sure, Selwyn have been more competitive in the second half, but that damage was done in the opening 15 minutes. The speed and the pace and the excellence and the skills and the working together as teams.
Yeah, definitely. And they'll be delighted, the Wellington Phoenix, because losing 4 or 5 players can sometimes have an adverse effect on your team culture and your performance. But these players have stood up and they've gone, you know, we want to be the next ones off the rank. And Chris Greenacre, Ufit Tale and Paul Temple will probably have some difficult decisions to make over the next year, because there's some real quality here. And it's really important they continue to develop and see if they can make the step up.
Yeah, they've been in charge. And they've looked, as I said earlier, they look as though they've played together for such a long time. Sims carries it down the left. And again, looking to make connections in there. It's still a loose ball, and keeping it back for Sims to have another look across. Pass it off to the skipper, who scored 2. And like a bit of flash through there. Wow. Barton Ginger comes racing through, looking for another one.
Yeah, and spilled by Peter Tarko initially, but well dealt with the second time, just throwing himself in front. But on the flip side, Leslie, I think Selwyn United, you know, they can, as that's the full-time whistle, but Selwyn United can be proud of their season. This is the last time they'll be at home or in Christchurch, and they put on a real show this season, and I'm proud to have been a part of this club once. So they go away to Miramar next week to finish off their National League campaign.
Well, they do indeed, but the honours deservedly go to Wellington Phoenix. They have played some stunning football. We were really keen to see what they could put together, missing some key players as well with this young side, and they've come out here and thrilled us with the pace that they put on the game, the intensity that they were able to keep right to the nth degree, and a hat-trick in the first half to Josh Ridland has hurt the Selwyn United side, but not just him, it's the way they put it together, Lee Padmore, and the way that they have finished this game. And sure, you want Selwyn to get something out of it, but it is certainly the Phoenix's game today.
Absolutely. Well-deserved 5-0 victory for the Wellington Phoenix.
Wellington Olympic, Wellington Suburbs in action, and then, of course, the big match tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Also at English Park, Kashmir Technical and Miramar Rangers will be back for that match, which we're looking forward to. But what we can tell you, in the end, it has been a comprehensive victory to Wellington Phoenix. 3 goals to Josh Ridland, 2 to the skipper, Louis Toomey, and it is Wellington Phoenix 5, Selwyn United 0. Thank you so much to Lee Padmore for his expert comments, and to the rain for staying away here at English Park. 5-0 Wellington Phoenix over Selwyn United.